Hello everybody, welcome to Storytime. You have joined me, Michelle, from Stories by Shelley. It is so awesome to have you today, and look at this wonderful new story you've chosen. It's called How the Grinch Stole Christmas, and it's written by Dr Seuss. Do you know the story? What do you think the Grinch is going to do? Is he dressed like Santa? But he looks like he's up to mischief, doesn't he? Well, let's see what this wonderful story is all about. How the Grinch Stole Christmas. Every Who down in Whoville liked Christmas a lot. But the Grinch, who lived just north of Whoville, did not. Look how grumpy he looks. The Grinch hated Christmas, the whole Christmas season. Now, please don't ask why. No one quite knows the reason. It could be his head wasn't screwed on just right. Or it could be perhaps that his shoes were too tight. But I think the most likely reason of all may have been that his heart was 2 sizes too small. Why do you think the Grinch doesn't like Christmas? But whatever the reason, his heart or his shoes, he stood there on Christmas Eve hating the Whos, staring down from his cave with a sour, grinchy frown at the warm, lighted windows down below in the town. For he knew every Who down in Whoville beneath was busy now hanging a mistletoe wreath. And they're hanging their stockings, he snarled with a snare. Tomorrow is Christmas. It's practically here. Now he growled, with his Grinch fingers nervously drumming. I must find some way to stop Christmas from coming. For tomorrow, he knew, all the Who boys and girls would wake bright and early. They'd rush for their toys. And then, oh, the noise! Oh, the noise, 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 noise! That's one thing he hated. The noise, the noise, the noise! Look at all the Whos playing with their toys. Look at that drum. Boom, 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 boom. Poor Grinch, he does not like all this noise. And then the Whos, young and old, would sit down to feast, and they'd feast, and they'd feast, and they'd feast, 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 feast. And they'd feast on Who pudding and rare Who roast beast, which was something the Grinch couldn't stand at the least. Look at that long table. If you have a Christmas dinner with your family and your friends, do you have that many people coming to eat? And look, every Who has his knife and fork. And you get ready to... Oh, look at this one. Is that a fork or a knife? No, it looks like a tool from a toolbox, doesn't it? Look at the baby Who, ready to eat. Everybody's super hungry. Oh, wow. Look at this. How many cups this Who is balancing on top of each other. Do you think you could do that? And then they'd do something he liked least of all. Every Who down in Whoville, the tall and the small, would stand close together with Christmas bells ringing. They'd stand hand in hand, and the Whos would start singing. They'd sing, and they'd sing, and they'd sing, 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 sing. And the more the Grinch thought of this Who Christmas sing, the more the Grinch thought, I must stop this whole thing. Why, for 53 years I've put up with this put up with it now. I must stop this Christmas from coming. But how? And then he got an idea. I have an awful idea. The Grinch got a wonderful, awful idea. What do you think he's decided he can do? I know just what to do. The Grinch laughed in his throat, and he made a quick Santa Claus hat and coat. And he chuckled and he clucked. What a great Grinchy trick! With this coat and this hat, I look just like Saint Nick. Hey, do you think he looks like Santa? Hey, like Father Christmas? Oh no, the Grinch is going to trick everybody. All I need is a reindeer. The Grinch looked around, but since reindeer are scarce, there were none to be found. Did that stop the old Grinch? No. The Grinch simply said, if I can't find a reindeer, I'll make one instead. So he called his dog Max. Max, Max, come, Max. And then he took a red thread and he tied a big horn on top of his head. And then he loaded some bags and some old empty sacks onto a ramshackle sleigh, and he hitched it to old Max. And then the Grinch said, "Giddy up!" and the sleigh started down towards the homes where the Whos lay a snooze in their town. Look what the Grinch is going to do. He's going down into Whoville. What do you think he's going to do, everybody? He looks very mean. What is he going to do? All their windows were dark. Quiet snow filled the air. All the Whos were all dreaming sweet dreams without care. Then he came to the first little house on the square. "Ha ha, this is stop number 1, the old Grinchy Claus hissed, and he climbed onto the roof, empty bags in his fist. Look how tired poor little Max looks. Hey, he looks exhausted. And he slid down the chimney. A rather tight pinch. But if Santa could do it, then so could the Grinch. And he got stuck only once, for a moment or two, and then he stuck his head out of the fireplace flue. Peekaboo! There were the little Who stockings, all hung in a row. Ha ha ha! These stockings, he grinned, are the first things to go. Oh no, everybody. The Grinch is going to take all the stockings. Then he slithered and slunk with a smile most unpleasant around the whole room. He took every present. Pop guns and bicycles, roller skates and drums, checkered boards, tricycles, popcorn and plums. He stuffed them in bags. Then the Grinch very nimbly stuffed all the bags one by one up the chimney. He's taken everything. He then slunk to the fridge and took the Who's feast, and he took the Who's pudding, and he took the roast beast. He cleaned out the fridge as quick as a flash. Why, that Grinch even took the last can of Who hash. He took everything out their fridge. Look at that. The sausages, the cheese, the eggs, even the last can of soda is gone. He's taken everything while they're all asleep. Then he stuffed all the food up the chimney with glee, and now, grinned the Grinch, I will stuff up the tree. And the Grinch grabbed the tree and he started to shove. Then he heard a small sound, like the coo of a dove. He turned round fast and he saw a small Who. Little Cindy Lou Who who was not more than 2. The Grinch had been caught by the tiny Who daughter, who got out of bed for a cup of cold water. She stared at the Grinch and she said, Santa Claus? Why? Why are you taking our Christmas tree? Why? Uh-oh, he's been caught. What's he going to do? But you know that old Grinch was so smart and so slick. He thought up a lie, and he thought it up quick. Why, my sweet little tot, the fake Santa Claus lied. There's a light on this tree that won't light on one side. So I'm taking it home to my workshop, my dear. I'll fix it there, and I'll bring it back here. And his fib fooled the child, and he patted her on her head. Boop, boop. And he got her to drink, and he sent her to bed. And when Cindy Lou Who went to bed with her cup, he went up the chimney and stuffed the tree up. Off he goes. He got the tree. And then the last thing he took was a log on the fire. When he went up the tree himself, the old liar. On their walls he left nothing but hooks and some wire, and one speck of food that he left in the house was a crumb that was even too small for a mouse. He's taken everything. And then he did the same thing to the other Who's houses, leaving crumbs much too small for the other Who's mouses. It was 1:15 dawn, all the Who's still in bed, all the Who's still a snooze, when he packed up his sled, packed up with their presents, the ribbons, the wrappings, the tags, and the tinsel, the trimmings and the trappings. Everything is in his sleigh. Oh, look, he's even taken a fish. Everything. Poor Max. It must be very heavy. And off he goes. 3,000 feet up the side of Mount Crumpet, he rode with his load to the tippy top to dump it. Oh dear, look, the Grinch is going to push it over the mountain. Pooh, pooh to the Who's, he was Grinchiously humming. They're finding out now that no Christmas is coming. They're just waking up. I know just what they'll do. Their mouths will hang open a minute or two. And then the Who's down in Whoville will all cry, boo-hoo-hoo. That's a sound, grinned the Grinch, that I simply must hear. So he paused, and the Grinch put his hand to his ear. Now, if you put your hand to your ear, can you hear the Who's crying? Can you hear any boo-hoos? And he did hear a sound rising up over the snow. It started in low, and it started to grow. But the sound wasn't sad. Why? The sound sounded merry. It couldn't be so, but it was merry. Very. He stared down at Whoville. The Grinch popped his eyes. Then he shook. Oh no. What he saw was a shocking surprise. What do you think the Grinch saw? What happened in Whoville? Every Who down in Whoville, the tall and the small, were singing without any presents at all. He hadn't stopped Christmas from coming. It came. Somehow or other, it came just the same. So even though they didn't have any presents or Christmas trees or lights or food, they still are singing. They still have cheer. And the Grinch, with his Grinch feet ice cold in the snow, stood puzzling and puzzling. How could it be so? It came without ribbons, it came without tags, it came without packages, boxes, or bags. And he puzzled 3 hours till his puzzler was sore. Then the Grinch thought of something he hadn't before. What do you think the Grinch thought of? What did he think? Maybe Christmas, he thought, doesn't come from a store. Maybe Christmas, perhaps, means a little bit more. And what happened then? Well, in Whoville, they say, the Grinch's small heart grew 3 times that day. And the minute his heart didn't feel so quite tight, he whizzed with his load through the bright morning light. And he brought back the toys and the food for the feast. Oh, look at him. He's coming back down. Look, Max is pushing the sleigh. And he himself, the Grinch, carved the roast beast. Ah, so even though the Grinch started off not loving Christmas, he learned that Christmas was more than stuff, and he made Christmas and the Who's really happy. I hope you enjoyed that story, everybody. Please subscribe, let me know what you think, and give yourself another choice of a story. We'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.